Prime Minister Modi has celebrated this Diwali in Kutch in Gujarat with the Jawans, and we now have the first visuals coming in for the same. This visit is special because this is the first time he will celebrate Diwali with soldiers in Gujarat after becoming Prime Minister. Sanjay Sharma, a senior editor, is joining us on the broadcast at this point in time. Major General UK Devnath, defense expert, also with us on the program. Major General A.K. Sivaj, defense expert, also joins us on the show. Let me in fact first rope in Sanjay onto this conversation. Sanjay, अगर आप मेरी आवाज़ सुन पा रहे हैं?
जी।
प्रधानमंत्री ने अपनी दिवाली का जो चलन था वो इस बार भी पूरा किया है। जवानों के साथ फिर से एक बार दिवाली बनाई है प्रधानमंत्री ने। उसके विजुअल्स भी हम देख पा रहे हैं। और कच्छ में इस बार प्रधानमंत्री ने दिवाली बनाने का जवानों के साथ फैसला किया है।
बिल्कुल, प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी ने जब से प्रधानमंत्री पद का कार्यभार संभाला है तब से लगातार हर साल प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी दिवाली का त्योहार सैनिकों के बीच में जाकर के मनाते हैं। सबसे पहले जब 2014 में जब प्रधानमंत्री बने थे, उसके बाद वो सीधे गए थे सियाचिन, वहां जाकर के उन्होंने सैनिकों के साथ दिवाली बनाई। और पिछली बार भी हमने देखा था किस तरह से हिमाचल प्रदेश में जाकर के सैनिकों के साथ दिवाली सेलिब्रेट की। उनको देखा विपक्षी दलों के नेता आरोप, नरेंद्र मोदी का कोई परिवार नहीं है, लेकिन नरेंद्र मोदी जी ने वही जवाब दिया कि देश की 140 करोड़ जनता मेरा परिवार है। लिहाजा हर त्योहार हमने देखा, होली हो चाहे दिवाली हो, वो सैनिकों के साथ ही मनाना चाहते हैं और उन्हीं के साथ मनाते हैं। और इस साथ ही साथ प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी ने, हमने देखा आज केंद्रीय रक्षा मंत्री राजनाथ सिंह भी आज तवांग में अरुणाचल प्रदेश में बॉर्डर पे है, चाइना बॉर्डर पे, और वहां भी वो भी सैनिकों के साथ दिवाली सेलिब्रेट कर रहे हैं। तो ये लगातार एक बड़ा संदेश जाता है देश की सेना को, देश के सैनिकों को, कि देश की जनता उनके साथ खड़ी हुई है। अगर वो देश की जनता की रक्षा करने के लिए अपना घर बार छोड़ कर के सीमा पर डटे हुए हैं, तो देश की जनता, देश का प्रधानमंत्री, देश का रक्षा मंत्री भी उनके साथ खड़ा हुआ है। यही संदेश प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी ने भी आज कच्छ जाकर के सैनिकों के साथ दिवाली बनाकर दिया है। भारत पाकिस्तान की बॉर्डर है कच्छ, तो पाकिस्तान को भी एक वहां से एक बड़ा संदेश प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी देते नजर आ रहा है।
General Sivaj also with us on the program. General Sivaj, the Prime Minister, like Sanjay said, is continuing with his tradition, but more than that, he is also sending a message to all those people who think that India is perhaps not keeping a close eye on any kind of a mischief they may or may not be up to.
Very correct. We need no doubt about it. As far as Prime Minister Modi is concerned, he has celebrated all Diwali after his taking over as a Prime Minister in 2014 with the soldiers on the border area. Whether it is Siachen Glacier, whether it is Arunachal Pradesh, whether it is Ladakh, whether it is Punjab, whether it is in now Gujarat. Now, as far as run of Kutch is concerned, where the BSF is deployed, one must understand in 1965, when Operation Grand Slam was done by the Pakistanis in Jammu and Kashmir in September 1965. Before that, in April 1965, they have launched attack in run of Kutch. And the basic aim of Pakistan was to assess the response of India and as to how Indian armor is going to react, and if they can draw out the Indian armor from Punjab and from the Jammu and Kashmir. Now that was the aim of Pakistan, that in 1965, and then they launched a full-fledged attack in Akroon in Grand Slam. Before that, they have sent certain Kabilas in Jammu and Kashmir. So the point today is that as far as the borders are concerned of India and Pakistan, they are still unsettled, and especially the run of Kutch area and also the line of control in Jammu and Kashmir, where the Pakistani keep on sending the terrorists. So we have to be very, very alert and alive. That Pakistan is now activated their K2 DAS, Khalistan and Kashmir. They want to blade India with 1,000 cuts, and they are trying to now send more terrorists in J&K, especially in Kashmir Valley, which is absolutely peaceful, especially after abrogation of Article 370 and 35A. But they are now trying to reactivate it, sending terrorists south of Pir Panjal, earlier. Now they are trying to activate even in Kashmir Valley. Before the passes closes, they are trying to push certain terrorists. But that nefarious activities of Pakistan will not be accepted by India, and all these terrorists will be neutralized in time to come. But having said so, one can say with a lot of pride, Prime Minister Modi is the one who takes pride in going and celebrating the festival with the troops, and he wants to tell to the whole country that his family is the 140 crores Indians as well as the soldiers. He wants to go and meet the soldiers on the front line. Imagine, Vineet, what a confidence it raises. It raises the confidence of the troops on the ground that the Prime Minister of India is with you. He gives sweet himself to each and every soldier. At the same time, I also send a message to your adversary. When the Prime Minister of a country can come and meet the soldier, the country ought to be very strong. Now that's a very important thing. And third message they send to his countrymen, that the soldiers are the one which are protecting you day, night and day out, and they must be respected in all sphere. I suppose Prime Minister Modi is doing a considerably excellent job by sending such messages, Vinny.
All right, Group Captain UK Devnath, defense expert, also with us on the program. Group Captain Devnath, your assessment of the Prime Minister's continuous efforts, to up the morale and confidence of our forces at the borders, and secondly, not choosing to spend his time in any vanities is obviously commendable.
Oh yes, Vineet, it has to be understood that Prime Minister considers the armed forces, our soldiers, Jawans, airmen and sailors as part of his extended family. Our soldiers who are guarding the international border, LOC and LAC, they are today on the occasion of Diwali, they are thousands of kilometers away from their families. So it goes a long way to show the troops who are deployed on border that if Prime Minister is with them on today's solemn occasion, then entire nation is with them. Also, the families who are away from their soldiers' family who is away in the deep interior of the country, any part of the country, maybe Maharashtra, maybe Bengal, maybe Madhya Pradesh, maybe Tamil Nadu, they also feel very proud that Prime Minister is spending time with their husband, with their brother or with their father. Vineet, celebrations apart, it also must be seen as a way of telling our adversaries, our northern adversary or our western adversary, that look, we are a mature democracy, our armed forces are strong, everyone is there to put his best foot forward in the defense of the nation. One more thing which has happened in last few weeks, last few months, is nation has strived very hard to become Atmanirbhar. We have Prime Minister from Gujarat only, he inaugurated the C295 assembly line. It goes to show that Gujarat is now becoming one of the defense hubs in India, where in future probably the Saras aircraft also will be manufactured and assembled. So Gujarat is now developing as a defense hub for manufacture of all the sophisticated would-be defense items on the agenda. As far as the Air Force is concerned, our in fact four most critical air bases are located in Gujarat. In case of any exigency on the western front, our Air Force will get launched from these four bases in Gujarat and strike, if required, our western neighbor. Also, these four air bases who are in, which are located in Gujarat will be critical in controlling Arabian Sea. Vineet, I'll just take 1 minute. When I was in Air Force, I was flying MiG-23 and we used to get airborne from any one of these four air bases and then fly south or towards the west 200, 300, 400 kilometers deep into Arabian Sea. This is to establish the fact that Gujarat air bases will play a very significant role in blockage of Pakistan, blockage of Karachi Harbour by Indian Air Force. Yes, Vineet.
And General Sivach, let us also understand that, India very recently has also achieved a great feat. The disengagement that has been articulated by this government is a major facilitator of India's grand deterrence, especially towards countries like Pakistan.
Absolutely. See, Vineet, what has happened between India and China, I think it's a victory of Indian diplomacy and Indian military. Remember to the viewers that in April 2020, the Chinese came along with the 3 division in Eastern Ladakh. We might have been surprised initially, but within a month time, we had a mirror image deployment. We have inducted it with our air power more than 60,000 troops, and we were deployed there. We were putting pressure on the Chinese, and after that, you remember that 20 meetings of war commander took place. Also, diplomatic channel meeting took place, and we were able to resolve. Especially 4 friction points, that is north and south of Pangangso, Gogra Hot Spring, and also the Galwan. But what was left was Dapsang and Dapcho. But what basically progress has taken place in Kazan, that is where the BRICS summit has taken place in Russia. Now, sidelines of this, the Prime Minister Modi and also the President Xi Jinping, they met and they negotiated, and thereafter the ice broken, and we find now the disengagement has taken place at Dapsang and Temchok also, and now this procedure has been completed, and after this verification has been done, now the patrolling will start. So what we want to convey is India has shown to the Chinese we mean business. Unless there will be a no status quo, what was existing in April 2020, the business can't be as usual, the relationship cannot be normal. And Chinese have to now basically submit to themselves, and they agree. And that is what I say, that it's a victory of this government, it's a victory of Indian diplomacy and military. Now, the point which comes as far as this is concerned is, we all know that as far as China is concerned, their economy not doing well. The supply lines are shifting from China to Indonesia, Vietnam, and coming to India. They need a market of India. But India has given a stern message to China that we will not have a business as usual unless you have a peace and tranquility. And finally, they agreed. And in case there is a peace and tranquility in line of actual control between India and China from Ladakh to Arunachal Pradesh, it suits both the countries. It's a win-win situation for both the country, because then we will able to concentrate more on our economy. But all said and done, Vineet, I can say with a lot of pride, in last about 10 years plus, after Prime Minister Modi has taken over, lot of improvement of infrastructure has taken place, especially with line of actual control. The way the roads have been constructed, the tunnels have come up, one can say the logistic nodes have come very close to the line of actual control. Also, number of villages have been now made very close to line of control with all the modern amenities, and giving the impression that they no more has to go back in winters to find a job. So overall, I can say that there is a lot of infrastructure which has come. There are a lot of activity which is of development which has taken place from Ladakh to Arunachal Pradesh, and this will now have a direct positive response on the tourism, and you'll find it lot of employment also come to the locals. So therefore, one can say that a lot of improvement has taken place in border areas, especially in all these states which are bordering the China, whether it is Jammu and Kashmir, whether it is Uttarakhand, Himachal Pradesh, and then we come Uttar Pradesh and Sikkim, then Arunachal Pradesh. Now, as far as the Pakistan is concerned, we have been sending a very strong message to Pakistan. Pakistan aim is to bleed India with 1,000 cuts. It is not mending its ways. It is trying to send terrorists in Jammu and Kashmir. It has also activated K2 Dash, that is Kashmir and Khalistan. It is trying to send drugs and weapons and trying to reactivate Khalistan movement in Punjab. But we have to fight very strongly there. There is no doubt about it. Pakistan knows that in Jammu and Kashmir there is a complete peace after abrogation of Article 370 and 35A. Grassroots level democracy has come by district level and panchayat election. Now Lok Sabha election has been about more than 60% now assembly election, new government has come over, but that is not to the liking of Pakistan. Pakistan is trying to send terrorists, especially initially south of Pir Panjal, is trying to reactivate Rajouri Punch. Now it is trying to concentrate on Kashmir Valley before the pass is closed. It's trying to pump in certain Lashkar-e-Toba jaise Muhammad terrorists. But one can say with lot of certainty, our counter-infiltration grid as well as our counter-terrorism grid is very robust. We will eliminate all these terrorists which are trying to infiltrate from POK. But all said and done, I can say, Vineet, that the situation is absolutely under control and our defense forces are doing extremely well. We are the 5th largest economy today. The way the development is taking place, we will be 3rd largest economy in another 3-4 years. We are the 4th largest military power. We are now able to build almost 60 to 70% weapons ourselves. Atmanirbhar Bharat, Make in India is a concept. In fact, we have gone a step further. Make in India, make for world. We are now exporting almost 15 to 20% weapons, and 25 lakh crore has been earned in last about 2-3 years. So all said and done, India is moving on a right path, and the way the situation is going, economically India is doing well, and militarily we are doing well, and we are now blaming in Atmanirbhar Bharat, Make in India concept. Vinny.
Absolutely right. So those are live visuals coming in of the Prime Minister on Diwali, speaking to the soldiers, speaking to our defense superstars, keeping their morale high. And this is something that the Prime Minister has taken immense pride and passion in. Continuously, every Diwali, he goes to one location where our soldiers, our brave hearts, are safeguarding the country, are looking out for our security, and are braving the storm. Group Captain UK Devnath, defense expert, also with us on the program. Group Captain UK Devnath, again, bringing back to light what General Sivach also said, that this is not only about the Prime Minister showing heart for our defense personnel, but it is also about sending a message. And all kudos to our diplomacy, all kudos to our foreign policy, and all kudos to our patience as well, that we've been able to navigate this very difficult chapter with China, and perhaps that has sent a message across the border to other countries as well.
Oh yes, Vineet, I think what India gives a message every time. Modi ji has been to Russia, and when he met Vladimir Putin, his message to Vladimir Putin was very clear, that Ukraine war has to be solved, has to quickly end, but that can only be done by through talks, through negotiation. Similarly, as far as Israel and Hamas war is concerned, India's stand has been very clear that Hamas and Israel war must end, must not escalate, and must end through peaceful diplomatic dialogue between both the parties. We have shown it. India has always shown it. Talk of 1965 war. Immediately after that, we declared ceasefire. We talked in Tashkent. I think Tashkent agreement was a very, very fruitful gesture. Similarly, after 1971, we quickly called off the war. Ceasefire was declared. Shimla agreement, and matters more or less stabilized after Shimla agreement. Similarly, most recent example is Galwan. Galwan, what happened on 15th of June 2020, our troops held the Chinese back, and Chinese troops were given kind of medicine of their own. Very, very unfortunate that Colonel Santosh Babu and 20 of our brave Jawans had to got martyred that day. But since then, a series of talks have taken place. Now we are undergoing a very, very successful process of de-escalation. Disengagement will take place very soon. So India has shown to the world that it is not necessary every time to fire a weapon. We keep the firepower with us. We will continue to develop our weapon systems. We will continue to develop more and more lethal arsenal with us. But our aim is to keep them as a deterrence and not to use them, which we did very successfully post Galwan and Aksai Chin. So Vinit, probably Word can pick up a word or two from India, that most of the international troubles, especially border disputes, must be solved on a negotiating table with both the sides undertaking slow de-escalation, disengagement. Yes, Vinit.
Jill Sivach, coming back to you, sir. So, what does this mean now in terms of our disengagement strategy with China? Is this a problem that perhaps we never have to worry about again? But considering the trajectory that India has shared with China in terms of their unpredictability, we'll have to be wary. And of course, that issue of Tibet and Arunachal is still unresolved.
Very correct, Vinny. As far as Chinese are concerned, there is a trust deficit. You can't say that the matter has been resolved. I suppose that pressure we could put on Chinese was that we mean business until they do not go back from Dapsang and Damchok. I have stayed there as a chief of staff of 14 Corps. I know the ground, but one thing I can say with a lot of conviction, the way the India put pressure, we made sure to the Chinese they go back where they have come in Dapsang. Now our troops will able to patrol what we used to patrol earlier from patrol point 10 to 13. That is a great achievement. And same way in Damchok, in Charting Nala, where we were blocked, we were not allowed to go by the Chinese. Now we have able to go. Both the countries have removed the temporary infrastructure and they have now gone to a selected place. Now the patrolling will start. So the point today is it is a disengagement which has taken place. Now the question comes in de-escalation and de-induction. I suppose, Vinit, it will take time. Now remember there are 2-3 factors here. The 2-3 factors are that de-induction is that Chinese have brought heavy weapons. They have brought tanks, they have brought armor, they have brought the BMPs, they have brought missiles, they have brought rockets, which is very close to the line of actual control. Until these 60,000 additional troops and heavy weapon is not de-inducted, de-induction will not be considered as successful. And I suppose we are putting pressure. Till that time, we will keep our 50 to 60,000. The terrain is slightly favorable to Chinese. The sense that Chinese have a plateau. And therefore, for the Chinese to come back to the place which they vacated is very easy. They can come back in 2-3 hours. Whereas we will take far greater time. So therefore, we cannot believe in Chinese that they have gone back today, they can't come back. They can. And they have shown time and again that you cannot have faith in Chinese because they always, break the trust. Because the protocol which was there in 2006, then 2012, 2013, they have broken that. So I can say that, yes, partial success we have achieved. We have to be careful, but we can't put our guard down. You believe them only after basically verify. So this lesson is learned as far as the Chinese are concerned, because just remember, Vinit, after Doklam in 2017, we thought the matter is resolved. Now things will not happen, but then Galwan took place, Eastern Ladakh took place, and when this Ladakh was going on, the Yangtze took place in 2019. So you can't say that Chinese will not do these dirty tricks. They will. What is required is you become strong. You become strong on line of actual control. Improve your infrastructure, make your roads, improve your surveillance system, improve your a system which is more offensive. We have already raised two corps which are now mountain corps which are offensive corps, and giving impression to Chinese that it's not only China can come in India, we have capability and capacity to go inside the Chinese, and that's a very good message. Our infrastructure has come up, our roads, tunnels have come, our logistic build-up have come. So we have to guard line of actual control far better then which we were guarding. And then only you could deter as far as the Chinese is concerned. Remember, the Chinese respect if you are equally strong. The Chinese will hit you if you are weak. And if you want peace, be prepared for war. That's a motto, and I suppose that's a message which you are sending, that we are well prepared, we will improve our infrastructure, we will improve our modernization of military, whether it is Army, Air Force, Navy. We are inducting the most modern weapon, and we are building up the weapon by making ourselves rather than importing from outside. And wherever weapons which we are importing from outside, we are saying transfer of technology is a key word. If you see C-17, Glowmaster and all, they have come from America. But M777 ultralight howitzer, which came from US, it is being made by Mahindra Defense. K9 Vajra came from South Korea.
So let me also rope in General Sudhakar ji.
Built by India.
Let me also rope in General Sudhakar ji into this conversation. He's joining us. General Sudhakar ji, your impressions of the continued, support that the Prime Minister has shown for our forces at, volatile areas.
Good afternoon. Thank you for getting me to your show on Phone Up. Of course, this is not the first time the Honorable Prime Minister has been doing it in the past, I suppose. If I respect my memory, this is the 11th time. The biggest thing for a political leader to be with the troops on a very important festival is to remind the troops that they are not alone. They are far off from their families and friends on Diwali. But here is the political leadership is with them, also sharing the pain and the sacrifice. And that actually emboldens it, makes up the deficiency in the morale and motivation of troops who are in isolated deployments and far off from the families, without communication, without anything. This is a very, very big factor for the motivation of the troops who are in remote areas along the line of control, along the IB, wherever they may be. This is first thing. Second thing is, alongside this particular gesture by the political dispensation, there is another thing that happens. You see, for Vineet, you and me, it may be a normal thing. But those who are watching, China watchers or Pakistani border watchers, if they join the dots, even the selection of the places where the Honorable Prime Minister makes a visit on such day is very, very important. Many of us might have forgotten that there are Chinese troops along the international border with Pakistan which have been noticed in recent past. For example, Sir Creek, I think NewsX is the channel which had actually developed a narrative and a theme. It had actually highlighted an aspect that Sir Creek is a place which is very sensitive. We have a BSF post towards our side. 8 kilometers crow-fly distance from our BSF post is a Chinese civil company which is developing some little estuary into some harnessing of some mineral or something. And at the center of that complex, there is a building. On top of a building, there is a MMG pointing towards India. So such kind, you see, these are, if at all something happens along the international border with Pakistan, this is a sensitive point. And Run of Kutch, if you recall, 1965 operation actually began in April. This is the start point was here. So this is a kind of a messaging, oh friend, you better watch out. Diplomacy and dialogue has come, or time has come wherein solutions cannot be found in the battleground. And the solution has to be found only by diplomacy and dialogue. The very concept and the philosophy has been vindicated with China recently.
All right, sir. Appreciate you joining us and wishing all our guests a happy Diwali once again.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.